What is up, my warriors, and welcome back to another video. This is day 2 of that quarantine workout program. Yesterday we had the full body strength workout. If you want to check that one out, it'll be linked in the description down below in the playlist. Today we're going to be going over a full body, more of a dynamic moving flexibility routine because there may be a little bit of DOMs from yesterday. We're going to try and brush off the rust, use that range of motion, spend 20 minutes moving around, and then that is it. That is the workout done. Let's jump straight into it. About the only thing you're going to need for today's session is potentially a couple of yoga blocks, but equally you could use some books or just chairs or whatever you have lying around to complete these drills. Let's begin the routine. We're going to start with the neck and the head and just moving the spine. We're going to start with this one. You can be seated, you can be standing, you can be on the sofa. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to be kneeling for the moment as it's easiest to demo. We're going to just start off with moving our head with the breath that we're taking. So as we breathe in, we're going to go into extension. So we're going to breathe in, look up at the sky, we breathe out, and just look down at our chest. Try to keep the torso pretty fixed when we're doing this, and then just get used to bringing it with the rhythm of the breath. So we're going to do 5 of these. So breathe in, keep those shoulder blades down, kind of think about lifting the sternum up. So we're thinking sort of that good posture. We're not going to be doing this slouched over. Nice big inhale, nice full exhale. Just going to do one more. So before we're just isolating at the neck, this time we're going to try and think about bringing it in to the chest as well. So instead of this being the movement point, we're going to make this the movement point. So we're going to breathe in, we're also going to arch, lifting the hands up, arch the back, lift the chest. Expand the rib cage as you breathe in. As you breathe out, we're just going to come into a more rounded position. Again, we're going to do 5 of these. That's 3. Really try to open the chest here. Feel the back, feel those muscles on the traps contracting as you breathe out. Feel yourself really rounding and overarching that back. Last one. So now you're going to need to come onto your knees if you're not already. If you're standing, you're sitting. Come onto your knees. We're going to come down onto the mat wherever you're doing it. So we're going to go into a child's pose. So it's going to widen the knees slightly, sink the hips back. Arms going to come in front. We're just going to sit back down onto this. We can move about slightly if we need to. Feel a little bit of a stretch in potentially the groin area, the lower back, and also the lats. We're going to come up slightly, and we're just going to take the right hand and we're going to thread it through underneath the left arm. Going to hold for a few seconds. I'm just going to come back out of it. Again, thread it through. We're going to try and reach as far to our left as we can. Bring the right shoulder down and come back up. So we're going to breathe out, reach, come back up. We're going to do 5 of these in total, so that's 3. Reach. Here we're looking for like a rotation throughout the lower back and into the spine. Last one, I'm just going to hold it for 10 seconds. Take a breath or so and then come back up. You're going to do the other side. I'm just going to flip myself around so you can see a little bit easier the other side. So again, child's pose, you're going to reach that left arm through now, this time underneath that right arm. Feel that rotation of the lower back. Come back up. The more you sink the back down, the hips down, the more intense the stretch is going to be on this one. That's 3, 4. Last one, we're gonna hold for a few seconds, or just a breath at that last one. Perfect, now we're gonna come back up. We're gonna bring the knees in, stay in that kneeling position. Water hands forward, we're gonna come into what would be a cat position. So we're gonna be stretching down. What we're gonna try and do is we're gonna go from this position where we're arching the back. We're gonna round the back as much as possible. So we're gonna do a cat-cow, but instead of our hands being underneath our shoulders, this sort of normal cat-cow position, we're gonna do it with the hands overhead. So we're gonna arch the back as much as we can, extend the spine, breathe out. We're gonna round the spine as much as we can. Do 5 of these. When you're breathing in, try to push the chest down to the ground. Breathe out. Round the hips, round the lower back. That's 3. And do one last one. And from there, I'm just going to switch around. We're going to move from what would be in that cat position. I'm going to come forward into an upward dog position. And from here, we're just going to do a McKenzie push up. So we're going to breathe in as we go down. And as we blow back out, as we exhale, we're going to lift up and go as far as you can. We're going to try and keep the hips connected with the ground. So if you can't quite extend the arms all the way and your hips kind of come off, then just come back down to a point in which you can keep those hips connected with the ground. So remember, breathe out as you come up. Go down as you breathe in. I'm just going to do 5 of these again. I think that's 5. We're going to do one more for good luck. I'm just going to hold this top position for about 10 seconds ago. Try and feel like you're pulling your shoulder blades back and down, lifting the chest up. From here, we're just going to twist over onto the front and we go to the good old-fashioned tabletop position. So that's this one. We're going to do a sort of a double whammy. So we're going to come onto the tabletop. We're also going to push our right foot forward. So we're going to get like a stretch over the quads, but we're also going to get a stretch through the chest and the biceps here by supporting ourselves. So we're just going to lift ourselves up. We're going to try and push that knee to the ground. And we're going to also try and extend through the hip. So we're just going to chill here. Move around, rock from side to side. All the time you're pulling the shoulder blades back, lifting the chest up so you feel the stretch in both areas. You're going to come back. I'm just going to push to the other side, that left hand side. Come back up. Right side. You might just need to move the feet position around to find a way that's comfortable. That assisting leg's going to have to go forward. Okay, I'm going to hold for a few seconds. Come back up. So, assisting leg goes forward, stretching leg goes backwards. I'm just going to do one more on each side of this. This one you should feel a nice intense stretch over that quad, right over the quad into the hip, potentially as well also in the ankle. Last one on the other side. Just push that hip forward. Try and touch that knee to the ground. If you can't touch the knees to the ground, if you're just a little bit more up here, also fine. You can just walk the hands in closer, and that's going to make this a little bit easier. Right, we're going to switch around now into what would be a downward dog position. But this time we're not so focused on the hamstrings, we're gonna think about the calves slightly. So you can come up however feels comfortable. If you need to have your hands on an elevated surface to get into a downward dog position, that's fine. We wanna think about keeping the heels flat on the ground. And we're just gonna try and walk our feet, pausing for a second. We're focusing on feeling a stretch over the calf. As I said, not so worried about the hamstring. So if you need to elevate the feet to get that focus, or the hands even, if you need to be up here so you can walk the feet out, that's fine. Obviously the hands on the floor is going to make it harder. So we're just going to try and straighten those legs as much as possible. We're just going to walk from side to side for a second. If you notice one feels tighter than the other, just spend a little bit of time on that tight side. You can twist around, you can try and feel where it feels tight. Just going to pause on this right side. You can bend the knee a little bit, try to stretch out that ankle. Just generally going to chill, get a little bit of a stretch on that calf. Another sort of 10 seconds. Then we're going to swap to that left side. Again, you can bend the knee, improve some of that dorsiflexion, just generally feel a stretch. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to come forward into a bit of a squat. We go down into a seated position. We want to have our feet nice and wide, and we're going to do the good old-fashioned things we like to start a lot of our flexibility routines off, and that is the hip swivels. So we're going to drop initially, then go to the right-hand side, drop into that 90-90 position, right knee down, left knee down, and then we're going to reverse that motion over. As much as possible, try to keep the chest up, try to keep the torso facing directly forward. We're going to do 10 in total, so 5 on each side. And pause for just a few seconds. And then we should feel a little bit of a stretch in external rotation on the outside leg, internal rotation on the inside leg. So, another couple on each side. So on this last one, we're just going to do a very brief glute stretch. We're going to keep this front leg, this angle open at 90 degrees. We don't want to let it close. It's going to reduce the amount of stretch that we're going to get. So we're going to keep it nice and open. It's going to lean that chest over forward. I'm just going to move gently in and out the stretch. So we're going to try and think about that hip hinge into the stretch. I'm not going to sit here and round my back. That's not what we're after. By the way, if you can't sit in this position, get your yoga block, get a cushion, elevate those hips up. So we're just going to do some reps. 5 reps, just going to go down, feel that stretch on the glute of that front leg, keep that chest high, roll the hips over. Just one more on this side. Just going to hold this last one for sort of 5-10 seconds. I'm going to flip that over to the other side. So back to that 90-90 position, back to the center, back over to this side. Again, leg out as a 90. Roll that hip over, keep that chest, keep that back neutral, keep the chest high. Go to the point of stretch. Just come up again. So another one more on this side. Just gonna hold it again for like sort of a breath at the bottom. And come back up. Come back to that center position. I'm actually gonna twist to the right hand side now. I'm gonna come up into a kneeling sort of hamstring stretch or just a lunge position. This will be where you're gonna want to grab your yoga blocks if you're less flexible. because when we're going to go back into these hamstring rock and rolls, you're going to need, the higher up you are, the less stretch you have, the lower down you are, the more stretch you're going to have. So adjust as you need to with those. We're just going to start in a lunge position. We're going to have the thigh connected with the chest. What we're going to do here is just going to keep our hands in the same position. We're going to push the hips backwards. Try and keep that chest connection with the thigh as much as you can. Keep extending until the leg straightens. Pull the toes towards you. Hold for a few seconds. And then we're going to get back into that lunge position. So pull the toes towards you. Pulling those toes backwards at the end is just going to add that little extra bit of flavour to the stretch. That's 3 in total. We're just going to do 10 of these, pausing for sort of 2-3 seconds in that bottom position. The real focus here though is keeping that connection. Imagine you've got a piece of paper between your thigh and your chest. You're going to try and pull that chest down. So remember, 10 of these in total, a few seconds pause. You've got 2 more. And we're just going to pause on this last one for about 10 seconds or so. Just that kind of one nice deep inhale, exhale. And come forward. And come into that lunge position. So you should feel a nice stretch on the hip flexor. From here, you can have some support if you wanted. So again, so those yoga blocks come in. We're just going to try and straighten the leg. And then we're going to relax again. When we straighten the leg here, we want to try and avoid the hips coming up as we straighten. You want to think about keeping the hips nice and sunk down, sitting into this front leg, and just trying to straighten the leg behind us. It should feel like this stretch goes from a 4 out of 10 to a 7 or an 8 out of 10. So again, we're going to do 10 of these. When we're doing it, we want to think about squeezing the glute on this back leg. So we've got a few more to do. And last one, we're just going to hold for those 10 seconds. That's it. To come down, a little bit more of a stretch. From here, we're just going to sit back onto our back. Keeping those feet nice and close to our knees. We're just going to do some knee drops. We're going to let the knees drop to the left-hand side, just as it feels relaxed. Pause for a second, and drop to the other side. This one, we're just looking for a little bit of a stretch in the glutes and the lower back. Just kind of releasing any sort of tension. Try and keep the shoulder blades nice and down. So if you notice like a shoulder's coming up or something, you want to try and feel like you're going to pin that shoulder down towards the ground, and then you're going to think about pulling the knees down to the ground as well. So I'm going to do 10 in total of these, so 5 on each side. Six with 2 more on each side to do. If you're enjoying this follow along, by the way, if you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, support the channel, support that YouTube algorithm. If you do as well, if you know some friends who are stuck inside, as the UK is now on lockdown, then please feel free to share this with them, help somebody out. As I said, this program is completely free. The point of it is to help people keep their sanity while they're stuck inside and do something productive with your time. So last rep on each side. One last time. I'm going to tuck the knees up to the chest. Going to come back out, and this time we're going to take a step back with that right leg. So again, we're going to come into that lunge position. We're going to do another set of those hamstring rock and rolls. So if you needed the yoga blocks or the blocks last time, make sure you get them this time. Same thing again, feel that connection between the thigh and the chest. And then from here, just push the hips backwards, straightening the leg, pulling the toes back. Feel a nice stretch, hamstring into the calf. 10 of these again. Remember, this is a sliding scale. If you can only get up here, absolutely fine. If you can get down here, even better. But it's just gonna improve with time and with consistency. I've completely lost count, but I think we've got a few more left. More isn't gonna hurt. So we're gonna have 2 more. And then we're gonna go into those lunges again. Same thing, but this time we're gonna be with that left foot forward. So last rep, I want you just to hold for that 10 seconds, really trying to sink down, keep that connection with the chest, pull yourself into the stretch. Suffer, embrace the suck. I'm gonna shift on forward. Grab your yoga block if you need to. Lean on into this front leg. And then we're just going to try and straighten that back leg, keeping the hips down, engaging that glute, and relax. So we're going to do 10 of these. Keep that chest up nice and high as well. Don't feel like you're going to round over. That's going to ruin the stretch over the hip flexor. Ten of these, remember, and hold that last one for 10 seconds. You can do this in your own time. Of course, just follow along. So a couple more. And yeah, that last one, 10-second hold. Really try to push those hips forward. Feel that stretch opening up on the hip. From here, we're gonna stand up into a pancake position. For me, I might have to flip around, but for you, you should just be able to stand up. So we end up in a nice split leg position. Go as wide as the legs feel comfortable. So for that, for you is up here, absolutely fine. If it's a little bit further out, also fine. You just need to be able to feel like you can comfortably support your own body weight. From here, we're just gonna twist around to the left-hand side, try and reach that foot as hard as you can. And we're gonna twist around to the other side. Again, this is the same thing. If you're a little bit more up here, then that is fine. If you need your yoga blocks, also fine. Just go in as deep as the stretch as you can. We're just gonna do 6 of these in total. So you can come out to that left side again. Pull yourself into it. If you can grab the foot, if you can grab the calf. Last one on this side. Last one on the right hand side. If you want, you can just chill a little bit out in this position, or we can just walk the feet in to where would be a comfortable squat position. And we're just going to sink down into a squat. If you can't sit in a squat, you can feel free to take a pew on an object or the sofa. You're just going to need to be in a rough squatting position. And from here, we're just going to make a prayer with the hands, and we're just going to push the elbows inside of the knees. I'm going to try and push the knees out. Feel a little bit of stretch, more in the adductors. Hold for a few seconds, come back. We're just going to do 5 of these. So press in, lift the chest up. Have a few more. And one more for luck. And that is basically the routine. That is the end of day 2 for this routine, the quarantine workout. Yesterday we got the full body, today is a stretching routine. Tomorrow will be another strength training session, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. If you do want to not miss out on any of these future videos, this follow-alongs, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Bodyweight Warrior tribe. As I said, if you have any friends who are stuck inside as well and they want to get fit, they want to start moving, they want to start using what their body is capable of, feel free to share this video with them. I'd highly appreciate it, and just help people out, help people stay sane in this situation. But that's basically been it for this week, guys. I will catch you in the next episode tomorrow. Have a strong week. Peace.